Good evening, children. Today I am going to start the second chapter of geography, that is physical features of India. Now, in this chapter we are going to study about the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plains and the islands. As you know, India is characterized by great diversity in its landforms with respect to relief, structure, and rock formations. India has vast stretched out of plain land and rugged terrain with mountains and valleys in the north, coastal regions in the south, deserts in the west, dense forests and rolling hills in the east. Besides this, there are plateaus in the peninsular region and islands in the territorial waters. Geologically, one of the ancient land masses on the Earth's surface is the peninsular plateau. The Himalayas and the northern plains are the most recent landforms. The peninsular plateau is the most stable land blocks, whereas the Himalayan mountains form an unstable zone. The Himalayas are the young fold mountains. Remember, the Himalayas are the young fold mountains with high peaks, deep valleys, and fast flowing perennial rivers. The northern plain consists of alluvial deposits, and the peninsular plateaus has gently rising hills and wide valleys composed of igneous and metamorphic rocks. It took millions of years for the landforms of India to attain their present forms. Many geological changes have led to their formation. Let us firstly talk about which are the varied relief of them. India may be listed as follows. In India, we are having the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, the peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plains, and the islands. Now, as you can see, due to varied geological history and structure, each division of landform is different from each other. You can see the division of landform which is different from each other. The rocks that make up the regions are different in the way they erode. Sedimentary rocks tend to erode easily than igneous rocks that are hard to break. Now, initially I have told you about the varied relief of India, the classifications, the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, the peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plains and the islands. Now, initially I am going to begin with the Himalayan mountains. Now, if I talk about Himalayan mountains, the Pamirs lies in Central Asia. A number of ranges run in eastern and western directions from here. In the west are the Hindu Kush. In the west are the Hindu Kush. In the east, the Kunlun range. The Tanchan ranges lie in the northeast and Karakoram to its southeast. To the south of Karakoram are the Ladakh and Zaskar ranges. The Karakoram enters Ladakh in northwest. Further east, they are known as Kailash range. The Himalayas that stretch over 2,400 kilometers are like a great mountain. As you can see on your screen, that is an example of Kailash range. They are located between the gorges of the Indus River. Remember this point? They are located between the gorges of the Indus River in the north, western Pakistan on the west, and those of the Brahmaputra River in the east. The Karakoram range, which are beyond the Indus River, are at the western end of the Himalayas. The Naga Hills that rise on the border between India and Burma lie to the southeast of the Himalayas. The Himalayas cover a distance, remember the statement, the Himalayas cover a distance of about 2,400 kilometers. Their width is 400 kilometers in Ladakh and Kashmir, and it narrows down to 150 kilometers in Arunachal Pradesh. If I talk about major Himalayan mountain peaks, as you can see on your screen, that's the part. All the things can be seen here. Major Himalayan mountain peaks are situated in the Karakoram range. In the Karakoram range, the highest mountain peak in this range are Mount K2, 8,611, Kanchenjunga 8,598, Nanda Devi 7,817, and Kamet, that is 7,756 meter. Now, no other mountain ranges in the world have so many peaks of this height. Whatever names I was just taking, I have taken the names of Mount K2, Kanchenjunga, Nanda Devi, and Kamat. Remember children, no other mountain ranges in the world have so many peaks of this height. पूरे विश्व में ऐसा कोई भी माउंटेन नहीं है जिसकी इतनी ज़्यादा पीक्स हो और जिसकी ऊंचाई इतनी ज़्यादा है. Due to the great height of the mountains, there are only a few passes through which people can travel. And I would like to tell you one thing. Mount Godwin S. Austin or Mount K2 is at the height of 8,611 meters. This peak is located in the Karakoram range in Ladakh. It is the second highest peak in the world after Mount Everest in the Himalayas. Some of the important passes of the Himalayas from west to east are Shipkila, Nathula, and Bomdila. The Karakoram Pass in the Karakoram range of the Himalayas is of great importance. In this region of high altitude, this is a region of high altitude. The Baltoro and the Siachen are the famous glaciers. That is slow moving rivers. What is the meaning of the word glaciers? Glaciers are the slow moving rivers of ice and snow of this area. And if I talk about children about the southern slopes of the Indian Himalayas are steep. The southern slopes of the Indian Himalayas are steep, while the northern slopes facing Tibet, you can see on the right hand side of your map, the northern slopes facing Tibet are much gentler. The northern slopes are generally covered by forests below the snow line. The southern slopes are too steep to gather snow or support any trees, except in the valleys. The valleys of Kashmir, Kullu, and Kangra are world famous for their scenic beauty. It can be a short question. The valleys of Kashmir, Kullu, and Kangra are the world famous for their scenic beauty and fruit orchards. जो हमारा in India, what the area which we are having of Jammu and Kashmir, that is the most famous, and Kullu, and in Himachal we are having Kangra. These are world famous for their scenic beauty and their orchards. The Ladakh and the Jaskar ranges run parallel to the south of Karakoram. River Indus. The name of the river is on the left hand side, just above Pakistan. You can see the rivers Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, and Satluj. River Indus, rising from the north of the Kailash range, crosses many ranges to flow between Ladakh and the Jaskar ranges from southeast to northwest. The other major rivers of North India are Satluj, the Ganga, the Yamuna, the Koshi, the Tista, and the Brahmaputra. Also have their sources in the Himalayas. These perennial rivers carry a lot of water and fertile sediments with them. Now children, tell me one answer. What is the meaning of perennial? Define perennial. Any one of you send me the answer. I have taken the names of certain rivers. They are Satluj, Ganga, Yamuna, Koshi, Tista, Brahmaputra, Ravi, Chenab, Jhelum. These are the perennial rivers. So children, what is the meaning of the word perennial? Okay. These are the old rivers and they are having water throughout the year. They are having water throughout the year. That's why they are perennial. These perennial rivers carry a lot of water and fertile sediments with them. The Kailash Mansarovar. The Kailash Mansarovar region is where the Indus, the Satluj, and the Tsangpo or the Brahmaputra have their origins. And children, if you see on the right hand side of the map, there you will find the Naga Hills or Patkai Hills. Just nearby that you can see the Naga Hills. The Satluj and the Indus flow westward, while the Tsangpo or Brahmaputra takes a U-turn and is renamed as Dilhang. जो टसांगपो या जो ब्रह्मपुत्र रिवर है, it takes a U-turn और उसको रीनेम कर दिया गया, उसको दूसरे नाम से भी जाना जाता है, that is Dihang. The three rivers then flow towards the northern plains, crossing the Himalayas at various places. They create spectacular gorges on the way. जो gorges होते हैं, these gorges are eye-shaped valleys. These gorges are eye-shaped valleys which have steep vertical walls on either side of the river. Geologists believe that the rivers continued cutting down their valleys. जो नदियां हैं वो अपने रास्तों को काटते हुए आगे बढ़ती हैं. Geologists believe that the rivers continued cutting down their valleys as quickly as the Himalayas were gaining in height. हिमालयाज की हाइट बढ़ रही थी और ये नदी अपना क्षेत्र बढ़ाती जा रही थी. Thus a river balance was maintained. So that's why it was important to maintain the river balance between the dual action of opposite nature. और जो दोनों एक्शंस थे, इधर इफ आई टॉक अबाउट हिमालय और इफ अबाउट द रिवर्स, उन दोनों के अपोजिट एक्शंस हैं, बट दिस ड्यूअल एक्शन was quite necessary. Opposite nature, I am using the word opposite means जो पर्वत है, जो हिमालय है, वो ऊपर की तरफ बढ़ रहा है और जो नदियां हैं वो जमीन लेवल पे अपना साइज बड़ा करती जा रही हैं. द दिल्हांग रिवर, popularly known as Brahmaputra river. Short question can be there, children. What is the other name of Brahmaputra or Dilhang? You will say the other name of Dilhang river is Brahmaputra. Marks the easternmost boundary of the Himalayas. There are mountain ranges in this region which sharply bend towards the south to spread along the eastern boundary, and that eastern boundary is known by the name of Purvachal. They comprise the Naga Hills. You can see on the right hand side of your map. I'm talking about the Purvachal. Just see on the right hand side, there you will be getting the names of the Naga Hills, the Mizo Hills, and the Patkai Bum Hills. Three names are taken: Naga Hills, the Mizo Hills, and the Patkai Bum Hills. Running along the Bangladesh-India border. ये जो चीजें कहाँ पे पड़ती है? They are on the Bangladesh-India border. They move westwards to Meghalaya. वो कहाँ निकलती हैं? They are moving towards Meghalaya. Here they are known as the Jaintia, the Khasi, and the Garo Hills. और यहाँ पे इनको किस नाम से जाना जाता है? Here they are known by the name of Jaintia, the Khasi, and the Garo Hills. देखो, if I talk about the Himalayas, it consists of three parallel ranges. It consists of three parallel ranges in its longitudinal extent. The northernmost range of the Himalayas is known as the Great or Inner Himalayas or the Himadri. Just see, there are 2-3 names. जो northernmost range पे है हिमालय की, उसको कहा जाता है Great और Inner Himalayas और the Himadri. 3 नाम हो गए, Great Himalayas or the Inner Himalayas or the Himadri, with an average altitude of 6,000 meter. It is having an average altitude of 6,000 meter. It contains all the prominent peaks, और इसमें सारे prominent peaks आ जाती हैं of the Himalayas. The highest peak in the world is Mount Everest. And what is the height of this? It is 8,848. The second highest peak of the Himalayas, that is Khangchijonga or Kanchenjunga, and the height is 8,598 meters. And where it is located? Where is Kanchenjunga located? Tell me the answer, children. Where is Kanchenjunga located? Send the answer fast. Yes, children, tell me the state where it is located. Raj, Divyansh, Sanya, Abhishek, Priyansh. Send me the answer for this question. Vaibhav Sachan. Where is Kanchenjunga located? Okay. I tell you the answer for this. Yes, Priyansh has given the right answer. That is located in Sikkim. Okay. This Kanchenjunga is located in Sikkim. Other important Himalayan peaks in India are at Nanga Parbat, that is on right hand side you can see, that is 8,126 meters. Nanda Devi, that is 7,817 meters. Now let's talk about Himachal. हमने इसकी एक रेंज की बात करी अभी, that was the northernmost range, and now I'm going to talk about the Himachal or the middle Himalayas or the lesser Himalayas. It lies to the south of the Himadri, extending over an average width of 50 kilometer and about 370 to 4,500 meters height. And इसकी ऊंचाई कितनी है? That is between 370 to 4,500 meters. Important ranges of Himachal are Mahabharat, the Daudhodhar and the Pir Panjal, Mussoorie, Shimla, Dalhousie and Dharamshala are the most famous North Indian hill stations. अगर हम लोग नॉर्थ इंडियन हिल स्टेशंस की बात करें तो इसमें सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट हैं, दे आर द महाभारत, द धाउधर एंड द पीर पंजल, मसूरी, शिमला, डलहौजी एंड धर्मशाला. एंड ऑल दीज हिल स्टेशंस आर लोकेटेड इन द हिमाचल. सब ये हिमाचल प्रदेश में आते हैं. Now let's talk about Shivalik ranges or the outer Himalayas. If I say Shivalik ranges or the outer Himalayas, they are 900 to 1,100 meters high. इसकी ऊंचाई कितनी है? The height is about 900 to 1,100 meters high and are 10 to 50 kilometer wide. Height 900 to 1,100 meters and width is 10 to 50 kilometer. Landslides are common in these ranges, as the ranges are formed of unconsolidated sediments, flat bottomed valleys covered with thick deposits of alluvium and gravel form dunes. These dunes, like Dehru, Dune and partly Dune, separate large areas of the Shivalik. जो ये dunes हैं, देहरादून and जो partly Dune, separate large area of the Shivaliks from the middle Himalayas. ये जो दून नाम से जो चीज़ें होती हैं वो मिडिल हिमालयास को डिवाइड कर देती हैं. एंड द टू एग्जाम्पल्स आर देहरादून एंड द अदर वन इज पार्टली दून. द हिमालयाज आर डिवाइडेड. अगर हम लोग हिमालयास की बात करें तो द हिमालयाज आर डिवाइडेड इनटू 4 सेक्शंस. हिमालयास को 4 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड किया जाता है इन द ईस्ट वेस्ट डायरेक्शंस बिटवीन द रिवर सतलज एंड द इंडस इन द वेस्टर्न सेक्शन. This section covering an area of, कौन कौन से एरियाज को कवर करता है ये? जम्मू एंड कश्मीर एंड हिमाचल प्रदेश फॉर्म्स द हिमाचल हिमालयाज. 2 स्टेट्स हैं, जम्मू कश्मीर और हिमाचल. दिस 2 प्लेसेस फॉर्म्स द हिमाचल हिमालयाज. आफ्टर दैट द गढ़वाल हिल्स and the Kumaon Himalayas. The Garhwal and the Kumaon Himalayas, they lie between Satluj and Kali rivers. The Shivaliks come under this range. और जो शिवालिक है वो गढ़वाल और कुमाऊं हिमालयाज में आता है. After that, जो third one है, the Nepal Himalayas. The Nepal Himalayas are the areas between the Kali and the Tista rivers. Remember, the Nepal Himalaya जो आता है, ये कौन सी एरिया के बीच में आता है? It comes, the Nepal Himalayas are the area between the Kali and Tista rivers. फिर हम लोग चलते हैं ऊपर की तरफ. असम Himalayas are the areas between the Tista and Dilhan, the Sangpo rivers. So these are the rivers. अब हम लोग ये बात कर रहे थे, just now today I was just talking about the Himalayan mountains. And let's study about this. I have told you about Mount Godwin Austen, that is Mount K2. It is at the height of 8,611 meters. This peak is located in the Karakoram range in Ladakh. It is the second highest peak in the world after Mount Everest in the Himalayas. After that, just read these points. The northernmost range is known as the Great or Inner Himalayas or the Himadri. It is the most continuous range consisting of the loftiest peaks with an average height of 6,000 meters. The folds of the Great Himalayas are symmetrical in nature. The core of this part of Himalayas is composed of granite. Remember this word? The core of this part of Himalayas is composed of granite. The range lying to the south of the Himadri forms the most rugged mountain system and is known as Himachal or Lesser Himalayas. Pir Panjal range forms the longest and the most important range. A short question can be there. Which range is the longest one? So we will give the answer. Pir Panjal range forms the longest and the most important range. My other point is the outermost range of the Himalayas is called Shivaliks. These ranges are composed of unconsolidated sediments. The longitudinal valley lying between Lesser Himalaya and the Shivaliks are known as dunes. Dehradun, Kotli Dun and Patli Dun are some of the well-known dunes. Short question can be there. Name the three dunes or the two dunes. So we will be mentioning Dehradun, Kotli Dun and the Patli Dun are some of the well-known dunes. Now, if I talk about how the Himalayas have been divided on the basis of region from west to east. So you'll be telling me the part of Himalayas lying between India and Satluj has been traditionally known as Punjab Himalaya, but it is known as regionally as Kashmir and Himachal Himalaya. Regionally, it is known as Kashmir and Himachal Himalaya from west to east respectively. The part of the Himalayas lying between Satluj and Kali rivers is known as Kumaon Himalayas. The Kali and Tista rivers divide the Nepal Himalayas, and the part lying between Tista and Dihang rivers is known as Assam Himalayas. The Brahmaputra marks the easternmost boundary of the Himalayas. Beyond the Dihang Gorge, the Himalayas bend sharply to the south and spread along the eastern boundary of India, which is known as the Purvachal or the Eastern Hills and Mountains. The Purvachal comprises the Patkai Hills, the Naga Hills, and the Manipuri Hills and the Mizo Hills. And all these areas can be found on the right hand side of your map. At the bottom side you can see the Lusai Hills, the Naga Hills and the Patkai Hills. Now, if I talk about some highest peaks of the Himalayas, you will see the first one is Mount Everest, and it is in which country? It is in Nepal. And what's the height of that? The height is 8,848 meters. The next one is Mount K2. It lies in India with the height of 8,611 meters. The third one is Kanchenjunga. It also lies in India. Height is 8,598. The next one is Makalu. It comes in Nepal with a height of 8,481 meters. Then comes Dhaulagiri. It also falls in Nepal with a height of 8,172 meters. Then comes Nanga Parvat or Naga Parvat, which comes in India with the height of 8,126 meters. Then comes Annapurna Peak. It is in Nepal with height of 8,078 meters. Then next is Nanda Devi. It also comes in India. Height is 7,817 meters. Then comes Kamat. It also comes in India with height of 7,756. Then comes Namcha Barwa. It also falls in India with a height of 7,756. Then comes Gurla Mandhata. It falls in Nepal and it is having the height of 7,728. Now children, let me tell you certain words which I have used today, and it might happen that you may not be knowing the meaning of that, or you may be knowing. The first one is sedimentary rocks. Can anyone tell me what do you mean by sedimentary rocks? Yes children, tell me fast. Sedimentary rocks. Yes, Priyansh, Rudra, Vaibhav, give me the answer for this question. Devansh and Akhil, Sanya. I am waiting for a response, children. Any one of you respond? Okay. Now I should tell you the answer. These rocks, yes, Priyansh has sent me the answer, accumulation or deposition of small particles and subsequent cementation of minerals or organic particles. Very good, Priyansh. So the correct answer given by Priyansh. Now I'd like to define the answer in my words. These rocks are formed through the deposition and solidification of sediment transported by water through rivers, lakes and oceans, ice. In ice comes your glaciers and winds. Now the next question, what do you mean by igneous rocks? How they are formed? How are igneous rocks formed? What do you mean by igneous rocks? Okay. Igneous rocks are formed through the cooling and solidification of magma or lava. Now the next question, what do you mean by gorge? Gorge. What is the meaning? What is the meaning of this word gorge? Okay, this word gorge means a narrow valley between hills or mountains. Remember the statement? A narrow valley between hills or mountains with steep rocky walls and a stream running through it. That is known as your gorge. My next word is glaciers. What do you mean by glaciers? Glaciers are slow moving rivers of ice and snow. Remember the answer? Glaciers are the slow moving rivers of ice and snow. Now, I would just like to recapitulate the chapter in fast. My 3-4 points are there, and after that I will be coming to the question round. So my first point is the Himalayas stretch over the northern borders of India. These mountains are located between the gorges of the Indus River in the north, western Pakistan on the west, and the Brahmaputra River in the east. The Himalayas cover a distance of about 2,400 km, having width of 400 km in Ladakh and Kashmir, which narrows down to 150 km in Arunachal Pradesh. The Himalayas consist of 3 parallel ranges in its longitudinal extent, that is Himadri, Himachal and Shivalik. Remember the 3 names? Himadri, Himachal and Shivalik. Some of the important passes of the Himalayas from west to east are Shipkila, Nathula and Bomdila. The Baltoro and the Siachen are the famous glaciers. 2 famous glaciers कौन से हैं? Baltoro and the Siachen. The Kailash Mansarovar region is where the Indus, Satluj and the Tsangpo or the Brahmaputra have their origin. The southern slope of the Indian Himalayas are steep, while the northern slopes facing Tibet are much gentler. Now children, I am coming to the MCQ round. Be ready for the MCQ round. Give the answers fast. Okay, the first question you can see, the northern plains is formed due to option A, igneous and metamorphic rocks, alluvial deposits, volcanic eruption and plate tectonic movements. Only Vaibhav Sachan has sent your answer. Other children, Sanya, Priyansh, Rudra, send your answer children. Priyansh, again look back into the question. Okay, The correct answer for this question is option B, alluvial deposits. Now, the next question. My next question is, which is the northernmost range of the Great Himalayas? Option A, Himadri. Option B, Himachal. Option C, Shivalik. And option D, Purvanchal. Yes, children, what should be the answer of this question? Answer it fast. Correct answer, Vaibhav, Priyansh, good. Other children, you people also give your answer. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option A, and that is Himadri. Now, let's move to the next question. It is an easier one, and the question is, which is the highest peak of India? Which is the highest peak of India? Option A, Mount Everest. Option B, Kanchenjunga. Option D, Makalu. And option D, Dhaulagiri. Send your answers fast, children. Yes, two children have given the answer. Good, Priyansh and Vaibhav. I am waiting for other children also. Good, Raj Chauhan. Good. Okay, the correct answer for this question is option B, and that is Kanchenjunga. This answer was being given by Vaibhav, Raj Chauhan and Priyansh. Good to see that you are able to give the answers and you are participating. Others also try to participate. Now the next question, which is the outermost range of Himalayas? Option A, Shivalik. Option B, Himadri. Option C, Makalu. And option D, Dhaulagiri. Yes, children, send your answer fast. Yes, Priyansh, Vaibhav, Raj Chauhan, look back into the question again. Just have a look at the question again and then give the answer. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option A, that is Shivalik. The correct answer is Shivalik. Now, the next question. Which of the following plateaus or which of the following plateau lies in the south of river Narmada? Options are Deccan Plateau, option B Chota Nagpur Plateau, option C Malwa Plateau, and option D Central Plateau. Now what's the answer for this question? Yes, only one child has sent the answer. Yes, Priyansh, good. Vaibhav, look back into the question again. The correct answer for this question is option A, and the answer is Deccan Plateau. Okay, children. So for today, this much only. We'll be doing the remaining part, means the northern hills, tomorrow. The remaining part of the chapter will be done tomorrow, and that is the northern hills. So till then, go through the chapter, whatever topic has been taught to you, read it very thoroughly, and the notes which I am showing you, which were on the background, they are very important. So tomorrow I'll be starting with northern plains.